Hey, Chris, thanks for stopping by. I can only speak to my own sensibilities as a writer and as a storyteller, but there's more than one way to skin a cat when you're telling a story. One big trick that I learned was from Lynn Tillman and her deeply underrated novel, American Genius. Her philosophy is you have to spend time with these characters, get to know them, and then after a while, I will give you the fun, plotty shit, or I will give you more character details. And I appreciate that approach because if you give the audience too much right out of the gate, but you don't have any character, the audience is going to become more concerned with what is the next cool thing, as opposed to, oh, these characters are on a journey. Oh, and there are these cool things on top of that. Just having 10, 15 minutes of spending time with the characters goes a long way. Robert Altman did this. That's why Robert Altman's movies are something I return to over and over and over again. You were completely hypnotized by Elliot Gould and The Long Goodbye because of that 10-minute scene at the beginning of the movie where he's trying to feed his finicky cat. He's trying to get cat food. We spend time with Philip Marlowe, and then we're fascinated by him. And it helps that you have Elliot Gould, who is just a fucking genius actor as far as I'm concerned. That, to me, is a better way of telling stories. But your mileage will vary depending upon your preference. But I think that, I mean, look at Breaking Bad, man. Look at Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul especially does this, where it's a slow burn for the first season, but by the time you're in the second season, you are completely gripped, and by the end of that series, you're in fucking tears over the fates of these fucking characters. And the transformation of both Walter White and Saul Goodman are utterly fascinating because you spent time with them. You became fascinated by them. You know, Vince Gilligan knows exactly what the fuck he's doing, and I honestly believe that's the way to go. But you know, again, I'm not against alternative forms of storytelling. I try to expose myself to different forms of storytelling all the time to see if I can learn a few more tricks or if I can try my own take on a particular approach. But characters first, and it's always been that way. But now I kind of have a weird structural way of enforcing that philosophy, so to speak. God, it makes me sound like a fucking fascist. But seriously, if you're in my hands and I'm telling a story, I am going to deliver. I'm going to give you answers to the questions that you're asking. And the other trick is to try to make things really ambiguous so that, you know, there are things that you don't know that the audience knows, or the audience infers, or that the actor infers. Now, that's the fun of it. You have to have kind of a character first structure laced with lots of clarity and ambiguity, if that makes any sense.